Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Mewtwo Fan Nate, and this is me just letting you guys know that this week was our bye week for the P4G. So next week will be week number 9 of the P4G. Last week we had our week 8 battle against Elliot, and pretty much what we're going to be doing right now is just be going through some of the weeks that we had. So pretty much starting from week number 1 and going through pretty much what my thoughts are, doing just a bit of a recap, kind of just letting you know how I feel about how I'm doing in the league, what I learned pretty much from each game, my thoughts on each game, that kind of thing. So we're going to just start off right from week 1. Obviously, if you guys have not watched the battles and you guys want to go watch them, there is a P4G playlist, so go ahead, you guys can check all the battles out. I think they're very entertaining, and I think you guys yourselves could probably learn something from it, because I know that I learned something from it every time that I learn, every time I battle. Sorry. So pretty much we're just going to start off with week 1. We battled Kelly, aka Under the Radar. Pretty much how that game ended was a 2-0 victory in his favor. Pretty much what I learned from that is that leads are pretty important, and that I should have finished my game to completion where I would have gotten my Mega Ring, because if you guys don't remember, week 1 I did not have my Mega Ring, so I was not able to Mega Evolve my Scizor. It did not matter as far as differential goes, but it definitely would have helped me. Well, I can't say that for sure as far as differential goes. As far as the game goes, maybe I would have been able to take out the Gigalith. So that's potentially that could have helped my differential. Maybe have made it a 1-0 instead of a 2-0. So that's definitely a possibility. The one thing that I really thought would have changed the game is if I had a different lead. I had led with Piloswine and he had led with Gigalith. Had I led with Tapu Bulu like I had done in my my mock battles, I probably would have gotten a lot more momentum, considering that he was the Sandstream, or whatever the ability is called, where he would have been having to force to switch out, and I would have been able to click sub, and then immediately whatever wanted to come in, depending on what it was. If it was the Fagricus, then I would have been able just to click the Z Wood, Woodhammer, Bloom Doom, knock that thing out, and I would have been in a much better position because I would have been behind a sub, knocked out one of his huge defensive mons, and then I would have been like sitting behind a sub, not toxic, not poisoned, not on a timer, because the one thing that really put me at a disadvantage that game was switching into a toxic from the Gigalith from my Piloswine. So definitely something to learn there, that leads are pretty important. So after week 1 we did get a loss, so that means we are 0-1. Week 2 we played Bub, and I did get a para on his Togekiss, which made it nice and easy for me to win pretty much. It was a 1-0 victory, so, but I mean, still, it's, you know, victory that I think I could have I still could have won despite the crit. Had I not gotten the crit, I would have had to play a little bit more aggressive with my Scizor. I probably would have had to Swords Dance against his Shaman. When I had my Mega Scizor versus his Shaman, he did click the healing move, Synthesis, that's what it's called. And I just clicked Bullet Punch because I knew he would have Hidden Power Fire, but he decided to go for Synthesis first. If I was in a position where I was forced to click Swords Dance, then I would have done that. So, being at +2, the Bullet Punch would have knocked him out from the range after his Synthesis, or at least it was a roll. It depends on, you know, his investment. Based off of what I thought his investment was, it looked like it knocked it out, but you know, you could have had more HP investment and whatnot, but it looked like the calc was there. So depending on whether or not I got that SD up against his Shaman, it would have, you know, made the game different. Maybe I just would have won a different way, but either way, we did get a win. So week 2, I did get a victory against Bub, so now we were 1-1 at that point. Week 3, I thought I was playing great. We played Discount Kyle, aka Sleeping Knight 77. I thought I was playing great. I got burned by a 10% chance Flare Blitz from the Arcanine, which pretty much meant that my Crobat could not successfully 1v1 the Arcanine the way that it was doing for, I guess hindsight is 2020. I could have ran Super Fang on it. I also got Poison Touch like 2 or 3 times, so like it doesn't matter how many times it was. 100% of the time I got poisoned whenever the Alolan Muck hit me, so that's unfortunate. The Bulu did miss his Stone Edge, and it darted to Arcanine. Had I landed the Stone Edge and I killed the Arcanine, Zerg comes in, takes like 12% to Stealth Rocks. If I got a crit Stone Edge on that thing, then it dies, and I'm looking at a position where then I'm facing, pretty much, I think it was a Scarfed Meloetta versus a Bulu, and then I had Mega Scizor, so depending on what he wanted to go with, he would have to hit me with like Psychic or something, or maybe even Hidden Power Fire, but at that point, even if he hits, let's say he just goes for Hidden Power Fire, then I'm in a position where it does not kill me. I get a Stone Edge off on him, and then I finish him off with like Bullet Punch afterwards, after like stacking it off. So I think I could have had that game despite not all the hacks pushed against me. Granted, some people said that I had a misplay where I U-turned from when I U-turned on the Arcanine. I mean, I don't think that was such a bad misplay because I could not have his Circuitry come in on the Mesprit, because the one thing that I could have hit it with just did not do enough damage. It would have set on me and done the same exact thing. So I mean, you could say what you want, say that I misplayed there, but I can't say for sure if it was a misplay, because I think my best overall chance of winning that game was with Tapu Bulu, pretty much getting the kill on the Arcanine, getting really good damage on the Circuitry, or at least putting it into the range where, at least forcing it to not go for the Z Electric Terrain, because I don't know if he would have clicked it against my Bulu, considering in his mind he was like, man, Bulu's gonna one-shot it, because he just wasn't running Calcs during the game. In his head, he thought it was gonna one-shot it no matter what I did to it. So pretty much, I think he would have clicked HP Poison against me. That might have once that dies or went down, like if I crit it, then the Circuitry goes down, like I said. But even if he did end up knocking out my Bulu and he didn't get critted, then at least puts me in a range where I can come in with my Raikou and then do good damage to him, like, because then he would have hit me with, like, I would have been faster, and I would have done more damage to him. I would have actually knocked him out after the Stone Edge, so I mean, it's whatever. But had I crit him, I think I would have been in a good position there. But, you know, of course, I missed my Stone Edge against this Arcanine, and then I died to a Flare Blitz. But, you know, it's in the past. It's in the past. I disagree with people saying that my U-turn on the Arcanine was a misplay, because had I just knocked out the Arcanine and then, like, have Circuitry come in, it would have done the same exact thing regardless, so it just doesn't matter that much. Anyway, so week 4 comes. We are now sitting at 1-2, so 1 win, 2 losses. Now, we play Lynx, and in my head, I was like, wow, Lynx is a pretty good player. I was looking at his team builders. He's doing his speed creep, and he's like, I'm going to put this EVs in speed with the Choice Scarf. That is enough to outspeed a Mienshao that's max speed. I was like, wow, Lynx knows what he's doing. He's a good player. So I'm like, alright, well, if Lynx is a good player, he's going to bring his Keldeo, not max speed, in order to speed creep my Typhlosion, because that's the next fastest thing on my team. So I was like, okay, sounds great. Sorry, did not mean to hit my mic there. Sounds great. I'm going to just put enough speed to speed creep his speed creeping my Typhlosion. Big mistake. I did misplay a lot in that game against Lynx. I think I should have brought Crobat that game. Had I brought Crobat, it completely walled his Keldeo spread. He did not bring any kind of Scald, Hydro Pump, or anything like that. He brought Sub-Calm Mind, HP Poison, and Secret Sword. So that set gets completely walled by the Crobat. And considering that I had Crobat on my roster, I didn't even think he would run a sub-Calm Mind. I thought he could run a Calm Mind set against me, Calm Mind 3 attacks maybe. But considering that Crobat gets Infiltrator, I just never anticipated him to bring a sub set against me. So I didn't expect that at all from him, but it worked out really great. He ran max speed Keldeo, and he ended up like beating me like 4-0 or something like that, something crazy. So that was a good game to Lynx. I had a lot of fun during that game. I brought a Scarfed Blastoise with Water Spout, which could have actually like swept his team. Had that Keldeo not been in the way. Had I gotten past that Keldeo, that it would have swept because he was not a defensive Cell Stealer. He was an offensive Cell Stealer, and it would have two-shotted him. So he was gonna switch if he wanted to switch that in. It does like more than like the 50% or however much he was at, and it would have knocked him out. So he could not take two. He could not switch into it at all. Blaziken was not like max speed or anything like that. So even though he did have a Scarf, I think I would have outsped him because of my investment, because he only ran enough to outspeed like a Crobat or Raikou or something, one of those, something in between there. So he didn't run like max speed with the Scarf. So I was looking really good with my Blastoise just to clean up, because it did take out a Sylveon and things like that. So I was looking really good in that game. It was just the Keldeo that really screwed me over. So now I lost because you can't prep for bad players. Lynx is a bad player. He did not bring max speed Keldeo. Pretty much, you know, what are you gonna do? So now I'm 1-3 at this point in the game. It's week 4. We're looking bad. So now we're going into week 5, and I'm like, oh man, we're playing A Drive. A Drive is a massive threat. He has been really good. He's been really good. Was like the NPA Season 3 champion, GBA Season 5 champion. He's killing the game. Like, he's undefeated at this point in the league. And now it's my time to play him, and I'm 1-3. So, who thought that I was going to be the one to actually put some hurting on his record? So, pretty much, right from the get-go, I was just like, I'm going to lead Raikou, and it baits in Diggersby like 100% of the time. Like, I have to predict this Diggersby coming in, because if I'm going to be screwed, because it's just that thing destroys my team. So I had to make the prediction. He U-turns from his Tapu Koko, goes right out into Diggersby, and I click HP Ice on that. I 2-KO him, pretty much getting rid of the biggest threat to my team just immediately. So, and then I play nice and safe. I did crit his Moltres, which is unfortunate. I don't know how much it mattered in the long run. I think it mattered more so for differential than it did in the overall game. I think I was holding momentum for the most part. Pretty much, like, had I not crit him and he would have lived, I would have gone out into my Crobat, because I would have been able to successfully revenge kill, and I could have U-turned out, you know, whatever, if he decided to switch out, preserve his Moltres. But pretty much that prevented him from doing any kind of roosting or anything like that. I would have outsped. I would have lived any kind of like flamethrower or fire blast, or even like hurricane. So it's something that like I could have easily revenge killed. I could have forced out his Moltres, gone for the Sludge Bomb or the U-turn, whatever it was, and pretty much forced the Moltres out if he wanted to let that thing live. But he would not been able to save it. So, like, or I would have had, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it would have been a different game, of course. But I think I still held the momentum there, regardless. So, I think I earned that win. So now I'm sitting at 2-3. So we didn't beat A Drive. I'm sitting at 2-3. Now we play Leo. Leo is an amazing player. He did not bring Mega Arrow nor the Klefki, and I did not expect the Raichu nor the Crook, which I did not prep for really at all. So I prepped so hard for Mega Arrow. I prepped so hard for the Klefki. I EV'd so many of my mons to like take specific Stone Edges or like Wing Attacks from Mega Arrow. and he didn't bring any of that. I brought like brick break on things just so I could break clef key screens. I brought a licky with like flamethrower and brick break just so I can beat the clef key. So it was a little unfortunate that he did not bring either of those things. But regardless, I had a lot of fun. We did have some hacks on both sides, but you know, it's the game we play. You know, I'm holding this pig. I should style. I feel like that's like really weird. Pretty much what this does, it like holds up your phone, like sticks, and then you can like, you know, watch like anime and like TV shows while you're eating cereal in the morning. It's kind of neat. So pretty much that's what I use it for. I mean, you can do whatever you want with it to hold up your phone, but I use it to like watch things like that. But anyway, regardless, we're going into week 7 now, and now I'm playing Sycamore, and Sycamore is just one of those people that up until I think the week before we battled him was like on a massive tear, winning like 3 games in a row or something like that. So pretty much it was a game that Crobat pretty much dominated. It like taunted a bunch of his like things, and it let me do what I needed to do. So I did have a mess up in the end of the game, and you guys definitely roasted me for it. I pretty much forgot his entire set on his Cresselia at the end. I knew that it was like rest, sleep talk, and things like that, but I completely it kind of just flew right out of my mind. So I was thinking, he has Facade, he has the Psycho Shift, which should now be named Psycho Shift with a CYKO. Like, I don't care. That was a godly Cresselia set. I don't care what anyone says. Don't try to convince me otherwise. Had I brought Mega Scizor or the Tapu Bulu, that game would have been 100% different. Maybe he over-prepped for it a little bit. I think he did. But, you know, regardless, had I brought either of those things, and Cresselia would have, like, Psycho Shifted that burn over to me, it would have been over, because I couldn't Toxic that thing. I prepped for that thing to be Toxic, but he still could have Psycho Shifted that over to me. So that's, it was definitely a good set, I think. So I had a lot of fun in that game. I did win. So now that brings my 2-4 record to 3-4, and then we go out into last week's game where we battled Elliot. So Elliot, I think I played pretty well. I played pretty passively, I think. I could have preserved my differential a bit better, but I think it worked out well. I think I played my Hydreigon pretty nicely. I kept my Blastoise alive for the physical threats on his team, like Entei and like Flygon, and Tapu Bulu. I preserved the Scarf Bulu in the back just to clean up late game. So I think I played pretty well. I did not prep for Granbull at all, or at least I did originally, and then I took it off. He did have the Bearberry, so I mean, I expected him to be like, either if he was going to be bringing the Granbull to check the Hydreigon, I thought he would be bringing it like AV or something, but he did bring Bearberry, which it did work. I mean, it didn't really matter too much because I was able to just 2K out with like Dark Pulse at that point after it's taken damage from my Mesprit. So I think that game went pretty well. I did end up getting the W there, so now we moved from 3-4 to 4-4, which brings us to our next battle against knightor. So pretty much that concludes this recap, this halfway through the season recap. So if you guys are enjoying the P4G and are rocking with your New York Noibats, make sure you guys hit that like button for me and subscribe for more battles. I will see you guys next week when we battle knightor. Peace.